Hello, folks, and welcome back to another review and thoughts. Tonight She Comes, which is a 2016 horror comedy. Um, is written and directed by Matt Stuertz, and basically it's a wannabe Evil Dead, Cabin Fever a little bit, and It Follows a bit, but not good as any of those. I don't really care for Cabin Fever. I think all those movies suck balls. Evil Dead, the first one, I enjoy. It Follows, I even enjoy. This film, it tries to juggle three of those, and people compare it to Evil Dead because there's like a cabin in a secluded area with a lake and all that. I was really disappointed, this time around watching it again. Because I had seen this before, and I remember liking it, but, watching it again is like, I didn't care for the characters. Yeah, it has gore, but that's all it's really going for is the gore. Yeah, there's nudity, but really only one chick. And granted, they do show everything, so I commend her for that. I'm not uh, praising the director. I praise the girl for willing to do that. But yeah, I mean, you have these. First, it shows. It opens with this one girl who's running in the woods, and you see she's like about to give birth to something, and it's basically again Evil Dead, Cabin Fever. Really, I wouldn't even say Cabin Fever because it's not a virus. It's more of it's a possession film. It is trying to have humor, such as gross humor, where you have a girl with a tampon for a altar, or not altar, but for a worship thing. You have this one guy who blatantly, granted, like he's far away, like across the lake or whatever, and he sees like the two lead girls sunbathing, but then he starts jacking it, and he's like making all this noise out in the open, and like the black friend, Lindsay, she notices this because she can hear him from all the way across the lake because he's moaning so loud. I'm like, dude, why would you do, one, why are you doing that out in the open? And two, why are you like letting them know that you're right there doing that? And then so I couldn't really like his character because he's a creep. And then later on, like he finds a dead body of like their friend, the girl in the opening, because we find out this cabin of theirs that they're going to is hers. Yet they're not really concerned for their friend. As soon as they get there, like, oh, I wonder where she is, but I'm sure she'll be around. Like they don't bother to like they call her, I guess, but they're not really like panicking, even though it's been like hours and she's not answering her phone. But what they like just brush it off and they get drunk. But the one jack off dude who finds the dead body of their friend, he starts taking pictures, which I'm like, wow. So I really don't like this guy. And then I guess he was gonna go in for a kiss. So I guess he's also a necromantic or whatever that's called. Anyway. But then she wakes up and she's possessed. I guess she kills him off screen. I think I think they do show his body like towards the end. Cause I was skipping through because all they were doing was just running. An ambulance were coming, but we. Oh yeah, they do show his dead body because they do show they show his crotch where I guess she ripped his junk off or whatever and buried him with it. Um, but yeah, we have only these two girls. Um, at first, and then this other guy who's like a young mailman type dude, and like he shows up. The two girls aren't there. He shows up, knocks on her because he's delivering mail for their friend Christy. Um, but yeah, he falls asleep at one. Well, he gets knocked out and his blood taken. Then the two girls come back. They find him in the hammock sleeping, and then they just randomly like start partying with this guy, even though they don't know him. Oh, he's a mailman. I guess he's all right. Like what? Your friend's missing. You find this young dude here, and then they just start drinking and partying. And then the black chick, she's like, you want to, or no, she's like, I'm wet. And then I guess those two want to go off and, bang. But then they never do because the other friend, Ashley, the lead girl, who will, I thought she would survive at the end. Spoilers. Um, but yeah, you find out, well, basically, the black chick wants the mailman guy to bang and sleep with or whatever. So he goes to hurry and grab a sleeping bag. And of course, the Ashley character, she's like, she's a virgin, so be careful. So then he's like, oh no. Because I guess that's a turn off. Um, but then but then they see like a naked chick in the distance, and then she swims in or swims down, and then I guess they don't bother to see if she's all right because then it's nighttime after the fact they see her in the daytime and time passes, so I guess they don't care that she was in the water and then she I guess drowned, but they don't care that they didn't see her come out of water or struggle. Like I guess they're okay with that. Whatever. I just remembered that like their reaction to like seeing the naked chick trying to walk across the water sink down, and then hours later they see her coming out of the water, I guess. But they don't mention like what, whatever. Not even concerned. And then they think it's their friend later on. I think when they get because the creepy jack off dude leaves them a message off the Christie character's phone. But yeah, the acting in this from at least the lead girl, Ashley, I liked her acting. I thought it was pretty funny. The guy, um, I can get his name, James. I thought he was okay. He did fine. I thought his reactions to like this gross stuff that's happening was funny. Um, Also, there's a point in the movie where like he has to because they're doing like this uh sacrifice thing where they want to kill the demon or whatever, but then they're like that dumb to or like that oblivious to be like these people are cult or devil worship or demon worship people or satanic people, but we're going to continue to cooperate with them and you know let them do their satanic stuff, let them mark us in blood, literally like the because you find out or really they don't even like they do tell you like what's going on, but basically this family of three. I guess the dad, his wife died, so he wants to get his wife back, but a demon is embodied into the friend of the young people's friend Christy, who he believes is his dead wife, but she's blood hungry, I guess, somehow, but he's okay with that sort of, but then he believes that's still his wife in a way, but it's weird. But then he dies, cause then he tries to kill his daughter, cause she disobeys him. So then the brother comes in and just blows his head off, which was a decent practical effect. So then it's just, uh, oh yeah, the Lindsay character, the black chick, she dies because they do a Friday the 13th Part 8, or not, Part 7, I'm sorry, where Jason picks up the, sleeping bag and, throws it against the tree, kills the one chick. They do that kill in this, um, which is funny, like, this is how it should have been in that movie, gory, but in that movie, of course, it got cut, because MPAA, stupid people. Anyway, pretty much what else happens is, oh yeah, during that, while she's getting dragged, I guess the Ashley character, who's just sitting on the ground yelling, "Lindsay, no!" Like she can easily like get up and help her friend, but no, she just lays there and watches as her friend is getting killed against a tree. I guess they're trying to mimic, the Evil Dead uh, vibes where Ashley in that movie didn't really want to do as much, but at least he tried like half the time. This girl, he really, when people were trying to, when people were getting attacked, he tried to help them. But this girl, like, she does it maybe once. That she tries to fight this thing off and then she runs away. Doesn't try to finish it off or bash its head in. But yeah, you find out these are these family of three. They let them in the house. Um, brother kills the dad, then his sister and brother. The brother then cuts his wrist and like he bleeds out basically. Even though they treat it like it's just a flesh wound, or not even a flesh wound. It's just a little cut there, and they put some duct tape over it. But then he dies because he's bleeding out. So then it's just the crazy sister Felicity, and she basically makes both of these people who, by this point, you should know what's going on. She like literally has them reading scriptures or demonic, you know, spells or whatever. But they're like, okay, we'll do whatever it takes, like to kill this demon thing. Even though, and then you can even hear like in her voice, like there's like something inside her, like demonic, as she's reading this stuff and talking to them. But they're still like, even though the one guy, the male or James, after she like marks blood on, um, does like a satanic design on them, and their bodies start burning. He's like, I'm done. But then he continues to participate in what they're doing. So I couldn't even like any of these characters. And um, then what else happens? He has to put a bloody tampon in his mouth. Has to swallow it. Can't swallow it. He spits it into the face of Ashley. So then half of her face is literally melted off, like he's a freaking xenomorph. I guess he turned into one at that moment. But then he pushes Ashley into the demon that they were trying to kill. So really couldn't care about his character because he literally just pushed the one girl who was trying to help him, but then made him do all this other stuff, I guess. So. But then he dies, gets like those little um, telescope things in his mouth. Then it's just the Felicity girl, but then she dies, gets her head ripped apart by the naked demon possessed chick. There's ambulance that come in, but then they die. I don't even think we possibly see. Well, I guess I can't remember. Um, yeah, she gets tackled by the demon possessed chick, and then she dies, and then the demon possessed chick arrives at a house. I guess just a random house, but then she starts convulsing and has like body aches. So then she screams, and then a hand, I guess, comes out of her veg, and then a whole body, I guess, is also coming out of her. Somehow she's still alive. And I couldn't tell if it was one of the other girls that did, if it was the Ashley character or the Felicity character coming back as possessed, or it's like another chick, or if it's the same chick as just possessed again, and she cloned herself. And then it just ends with her screaming on top of her. I'm like, screw this movie. I don't get the praise that this movie gets. Like, it's like people are like, oh, it's so funny, and it really throws back to 80s and, slashers, even though it's not really like that. It has none of the imagination, um, well, not imagination. It doesn't have any of the flair of Evil Dead, camera angles, camera shots, ornaments at all. It doesn't have as good dialogue, catchy, quotey dialogue, really. It has gore, but you know what? I can watch Evil Dead for that, or Cabin Fever, or any of the Cabin Fever films. But yeah, It Follows isn't really it's not a gory film, so I can't really. But even that's a better movie than this, because you have better, at least the characters in that are, granted, they're like teenagers, but you still relate to them, and they at least have they at least have you care for them at least, get to know them. These girls, I don't know anything about these girls. I don't even think they mention anything they do, except that they like to party, apparently, and drink, and that's it. What we know about the James character, he's a young mailman guy, and he is also a horny young dude. What we know about his buddy who dies, Pete, uh, he's also a creep, and he's just the friend to James, who likes to also, again, jack off in front of any females really, and just rant and let them know it, that he's doing it, moaning loud. So again, there's nobody really to like. You can't really like the satanic people, because all they're doing is just, you know. So there's really nobody to like in this film. I don't want to hear that argument. They're not really meant to be liked. It's a throwback to slashers and, horror. Like, no, there's there's likable characters in It Follows, likable characters in Evil Dead, and other films. There's even that movie. Was it Almost Zombie or whatever? That's a better film than this. That has some gore. That's a better film. At least is the humor, and that's way more funnier and less gross. I mean, because really here is trying to be like really gross out humor and disgusting, and it didn't really work for me. So, yeah, if you're a fan of, old school horror, throwback 80s gore, go for this. But if you want like characters as well that you root for, don't watch this. But yeah, there's better films than this. But again, like the only good thing about this is the gore. That's it, really. Nothing else. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this review. Please give it a like and thumbs up, subscribe, comment, and share. And till next time, take care and peace and love.
Touch me deep.